Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the stylistic rants of a short, squat, balding man who loves good tequila. He's rude, crude, politically incorrect, and he has no problem telling people when he thinks they're full of shit. The man, the myth, a legend in his own mind. Please welcome an American in Bangkok and Z-list celebrity, Scott Mallon.
Might as well have a little fun with it. Yeah. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I am waiting on our guest. He is apparently awake and supposed to let me know when he's available. I thought he would be up a little bit earlier, but he's had a long day yesterday at the embassy, and he doesn't live in Bangkok, so he had to fly back home, yada, yada, yada. But good morning, Mr. Mitch. Good morning, everybody. Let's see here. Let me put my glasses on because I can't see. Here we go. The following stream and all videos on this channel are brought to you by the good viewers and my Patreon patrons, VIP members, and viewer contributions, of course, and purchases. Today's shout out, Mr. Soy Dog Cowboy, the one and only. What a great name. The Soy Dog Cowboy traveled to Thailand last year, stayed for somewhere around 6 months, came back this year, and then had to make the difficult decision, encoding overloaded, holy sheep shit. Anyway, he made a difficult decision to depart earlier than he planned because of the ramifications of the Wu flu. Good morning, Jono. Good morning, Longhorns. Listen, I do blame the CCP. I don't blame, the everyday Chinese, and I don't think that we should discriminate against Chinese, especially in the United States or Europe or anywhere like that. I don't think that we should do that. There's no reason for it. Let's see here. Let me just... holy shit. Tom Hanks and his wife. So, this is going to reach far and wide, but let me just give you a little insight. Let me just continue here, because, I'll lose my train of thought. Anyway, for Soy Dog Cowboy, of course, Thailand's going to be here. It's still going to be here, and once the situation settles down, you can always come back. Although it does seem to me that Thailand is a fairly safe place, if you believe the figures put forth, which is kind of strange because if you remember, Thailand was right up there at the top of the number of cases, and now it's way, way down in the ratings. 59 people supposedly infected with the virus. So the question is, when is this going to subside? Will it subside anytime soon? But anyway, thank you very much to the Soy Dog and to everybody else who gives their support and who makes this channel possible. For right now, I can tell you that I am going to isolate myself. I've been thinking about it for a couple days. I don't have the virus, at least that I know of. So it's not because I've determined, I have the virus, I'm going to need to isolate myself. But I think that at this point, while I'm not in fear, and if I need to go out, I'm going to go out. I should go out. There's no reason for me really not to go out if I have to. But I don't really have to. That's the thing. I don't have to go out and take photographs. I don't have any assignment right now that's pressing, and I have to go out. Everything that I can do, I can do via computer. at home. So I don't have to go out. My kid, Nicholas, he's home from school. He doesn't have to go out. Guess what? He's not going anywhere. You're locked down, kid. I'm locking myself down. We're all locking down. The wife is a little nervous. She's concerned because, her company is getting more and more concerned. People around the world are obviously fearful. But let me continue here. We could talk about this Wu flu forever. Now, let's see here. Temperature right now. You know what? I checked about 10 minutes ago. I'm going to check again because, oh, yeah. You see, it went up from 82 to 88 degrees in a matter of about 15 minutes. Feels like 100. Wow. High of 96, low of 82, 0% chance of rain, 68% humidity, visibility is 6 miles, and the wind is 13 miles an hour, UV index 5. What else here? Did I forget something? No, I did not. Thai baht is 31.5033. The last stream was 31.4528. Let's see here. Yeah, it feels like 1,000, Jono. I mean, it's so hot. Listen, I will flat out state, I've been saying for the last couple of days, man, I don't really want to go out. It's too damn hot. It's hot here, and I mean, I'm used to the heat. It's not like my body says, oh, it's not hot, but I just get accustomed to sweating and, having trickles of sweat go down my ass crack and constantly having a wet shirt, that kind of thing. I'm used to it, but I don't want to deal with it. It's too much. And if you walk around for 10 or 15 minutes here, I don't care what anybody says. It's humid here. You walk around for 10 or 15 minutes, you are going to be drenched in sweat. There's no way around it. Let me see something here. Yeah, I don't understand this. Anyway, I got to say something about the Thai baht before I go on. The Thai baht. Yesterday, I was going to make a transfer of about $430. Well, $430 I was going to transfer. I was going to use TransferWise because you can get the money now in 4 hours if all goes well. However, yesterday all did not go well. Now, $430, including their fee, would have yielded me 13,313 baht and 89 satang. As I said, usually you get the money, you get the funds in your bank account within 4 hours. However, yesterday there was some hold. It was all day. It was an all day, and I was like, "Wait, what's going on here?" And you can't really get a response from them immediately. So I was like, "Listen, I got things to do. I don't want to have to come out tomorrow. I'm just going to take the money out of the bank." And I took the exact same amount out, actually 13 baht and 89 satang less, and it cost me $9 more to take it out through the ATM. So I lost $9, which is not a huge amount, but if you're taking out more than this, or you're taking money out several times a week, which I'm not usually. Usually I take money out of the bank or transfer money 2 or 3 times a month, and that's it. But anyway, it pays to use TransferWise, and no, I'm not. They're not sponsoring me. I don't make any money from this or anything like that. So I just wanted to say something about that because I was like, I got to double check on this and see just how much. Now, if you're taking out a small amount, like $100, then it doesn't. You don't save any money. Taking out a couple hundred, yeah, it adds up. Now, today's subject: denied a visa to the U.S. Blame it on Trump. Let me do something real quick. I gotta do this. Hang on. See if I can wake him up. Huh. All right. Anyway, yesterday, let me see where I'm at here. Yesterday, I got a call from my buddy, and he was a bit upset, a bit irritated. He wanted to meet with me, and I said, well, where are you? Because usually he's down in the south of Thailand, and he was at the U.S. Embassy. What are you doing at the U.S. Embassy? Well, I'm trying to get my wife her visa to the United States. Now, he's been here for many, many years. I don't know, maybe 20 years. He may have been here longer than I have. I don't remember, to be honest, and that's why we're waiting for him to come online, if he's going to. I don't know, he's had a long day yesterday, but we did agree to talk this morning. I don't know if he's not awake yet, or he's hungover, or he's exhausted from his trip yesterday. I don't know. But anyway, let me just go on, and I'll see what's going on. But he's a longtime expat, and he's similar to me in many ways. He's married to a Thai, and they have a child together. He's also he's worked as a journalist for many years. He was the former editor of the Phuket Gazette, the now defunct Phuket Gazette. And he's also a moderator on Thai Visa. Now, he's not the most active moderator on Thai Visa, but he is a moderator nonetheless. So anyway, like I said, he called me. He was the editor. He was my editor for the Phuket Gazette when I was writing about boxing. He actually saw an article I wrote and contacted me and said, hey, do you want to write for the Gazette? I said, wow, okay, thanks, man. Cool, good deal. We became friends. Now, this is years ago. Now he and his wife, they moved from Phuket. They now live farther down south, and they operate an English school. So his wife has been to the United States twice on tourist visas. Okay, I guess her visa expired on a tourist visa. A tourist visa for Thai is good for 10 years. My wife has a visa for 10 years. She can go anytime she wants, back and forth to the United States. It's no problem. Now, they can always deny you when you go there. You can go there with a visa. They can still deny you. But she's been there twice before. So you would think it would be, pretty cut and dry. It's not like she has no criminal record. She's not a former bar girl. She's not, some chick who worked in a massage parlor. She doesn't have any tattoos or anything. She does, and I've met her, and she's very nice, very proper Thai lady. And like I said, they have a child together. Now, he went there to the embassy. Now, they don't let you in when you have to file the paperwork at the embassy, and or online rather. You have to file an application online and then make an appointment to have an interview. So when you go on the interview, they don't allow the spouse to go in. So like when my wife went in for her interview, I was not allowed in. And I was like, at first I thought, oh, do you want me to go? And she's like, well, you're not allowed in. They said you're not allowed in. I said, oh, yeah, well, then I'm not going to go. I might as well not go. I'm not going to sit around waiting for you, because she didn't care. So you go in, you do the interview, and it's very cut and dry. It's not something that's long-term. It doesn't take 2 hours or 3 hours or anything. You're talking about 10, 15 minutes tops. You're in and out. So the first time she went, I guess, was about a week ago. And they said to her, you need to have your husband's passport, not a copy of the passport. So they denied her. Now, she's like, what do I need to do? You just bring this passport and we'll be okay. Yes. She brings back the passport and copies and originals of everything they can possibly think of. Now, this guy's been around the block. He's like me. He's been around the block. You know, just because you don't need a marriage visa, a marriage certificate, rather, or anything like that, doesn't mean you shouldn't bring it. Just because you don't have certificates of birth abroad, or just because they don't ask for certificates of birth abroad for your children, doesn't mean you shouldn't bring the paper. They bring everything. They go in, she goes in, you know, I guess he went and he's waiting across the street or whatever, or outside of the little area. She goes in and she comes out, she's in tears. She's upset. They denied her again. And, you know, there's no reason given this time. Nothing. It's not, oh, well, you brought your copy, that you brought your passport, you brought the original. But we can't issue the visa because of X, Y, and Z. Now, remember, they're bringing in all paperwork. They're bringing in their bank books that show funds, sufficient funds in the bank. Well, I'm not saying that, you know, just because you have money means you should be able to get the visa. But without the funds, you're not going to get a visa. Without the funds, without a reason to come back. They have a house. So they're set. They've been here for a long time, together for a long time. And, you know, they have a kid, you know, is probably 14 years old, something like that. So you would think that all the boxes are checked. So she's upset and he's pissed, you know, because here's the thing. He's had to, what? It's his wife? It's bullshit? Well, yeah. I mean, it's his wife. You would think, and it's legitimate. You know, it's not like one of these things where he got married a month ago and, okay, I want my honey to come back to the U.S. And so, you know, he's pissed because he's had to pay something like 6,000 baht for the visa fee or fees. And altogether, I think he said he spent about 30,000 baht. Now, one would think that there wouldn't be an issue. But first of all, they live down in the south. So not only is it the visa fees, but it's also the flights for both of them. It's also a hotel that they can both stay in, because she was denied the first time. He's got to pay for all that stuff. They have to pay for all that. Not to mention the time that they've lost because they had to close their school for a few days, and they're not making money. And then they're not even given a reason. So he's pissed. She's upset. You know, she's not angry. She's more, at this point at least, it seems like she's more upset. She's, you know, in tears, and why can't I go? And so it just happens that somebody's sitting there, and that person is an agent. That person is an agent. That person is one of the people who it's their job to bring people in, to bring Thai people in to the embassy, and to bring their paperwork in and to get them approved. That's their job. That's what they do. It's a reason. So anyway, so you know, he's like, hey, I don't know what happened, but it was a lady, and apparently the lady said it's because of your leader, his policies, and he's like, what? Now, I don't know exactly, you know, obviously since no reason was given, it's very difficult to tell what the real reason was. It could have been something completely unrelated, but when you have an agent, and this is their job, to go into the embassy day in and day out. I don't know how many times a week they go in, but, they go in and they got a stack of paper. If you watch these guys, and it's kind of ridiculous because you see them in Thai immigration, you see them in the embassy, and it's I don't want to say it's irritating, but, when you got somebody ahead of you and they got 10 visas and they got to go through them, it's like, wait a minute, why doesn't the person just go in themselves? Okay, well, because they paid a fee, blah, blah, blah. All right, whatever. That's neither here nor there, But this person does this for a living. And they said, listen, this has been happening more and more, and it's because of Trump's policies. Now, I don't know if that's really the case. It may be a policy of don't let people in on tourist visas from countries that have the coronavirus, which apparently is the case with Greece, because somebody I know is planning a trip to Greece, and they've been told by their tour company that they're not going to be able to go into Greece, at least at this point, because they're from the U.S., and the U.S. has cases of the coronavirus. Now, what's funny is Greece has cases of it too, but they're trying to shut things down. So I'm trying to get the guy online. He's supposed to come. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he, like I said, let me see if I can do something here. I'm going to try to call him. Yeah. I've called him a couple times. He hasn't answered, so I'm gonna assume he's a no-show, which has never happened to me before. But then with him, yeah. But that said, he did have to fly back last night, and I don't know what's going on with him. And he did say that he'd be in touch with me in the morning. Now, I thought he'd be up by now and ready to go. He said he would be, so I don't know what's going on. I'm sure I'll find out eventually. But I'm wondering, if anybody else has had this happen recently. And he did post it on Thai Visa. And he basically said, he said everything that he did. And basically he's saying, hey, if be warned, if you take your spouse to the embassy, you risk pissing away a lot of money because there's a good chance you'll be denied. And somebody responded and said something like, well, maybe it's because of your wife, and, okay, listen, of course, maybe it's because of his wife, but I highly doubt it. The reason I highly doubt it is because, it's not, this is a different scenario. This is a regular Thai girl who has money in the bank, who has a reason to come back, there's, everything's above board. So, I can't believe that it's just, for some reason aside from the fact that, they just don't want certain people coming in. Now, what I find extremely troubling is that you have people coming in from South America, from Mexico, from wherever, all over the world. You got people coming into the United States illegally. They don't have proper visas. They're not applying for proper visas. And these people get in, they get arrested for something, or they get picked up for being illegal or whatever. They get thrown in jail, they get let out because of, the liberals, or because of whatever, the city that they're in, and they go out and commit a crime, and then people go, hey, why did this happen? Then you got somebody who's legitimately married to somebody who's been married to him for 15 years. Now imagine you're married to somebody for 15 years and you've got a kid and hey, you're planning your trip home. What kind of bullshit is this? Now, if it's because of the coronavirus, maybe I could understand. So that's the caveat, is that you don't really know. They won't tell you. That's their policy. We don't tell people. And I suspect that that's because they don't want people asking questions of them all the time. Well, why? No, but it's not true. It's not true. Why? I don't think that they want everybody doing that at the embassy. You got some girl who's been turned down. Yeah, but I was a whore 15 years ago. Why are you holding that against me? No, you can't do that. I can just see it now. So I do kind of understand the no reason policy, not giving a reason. I do kind of understand that, but I do believe he's going to try to find out. And Steve, if you're awake, please get in touch with me. Let me know what's going on. The other thing is that maybe he is spending time with his wife, who's really upset, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do because now their trip is a no-go. Yeah, I mean, I kind of doubt that it's, oh, well, you're in a country that's got the corona. Yeah, I don't know, I don't get it. How is somebody going to tell you how to live? So anyway, and he was upset because, his wife's upset. She's upset. He's upset. He's pissed. He's pissed off. Because, there's no explanation, and now he's pissed away all the money. And I would have been pissed off, too. And I can only imagine, what'll happen in the future. But, this is the thing. I mean, obviously, I know quite a few women that have been turned down, both working women, as in prostitutes, and women who were just everyday women working a good job. They'd stashed away a couple 100,000 baht. Usually they're not, 20 years old, 19 years old, unless they have something like their parents are sponsoring them or something like that. Then that's a different story. That's completely different. I'm talking about a woman who is married or single. I know one woman who was a working girl who used to go over with her man all the time. And what he did was he basically posted a bond. This is years ago, though. I don't know this is the problem now, is that the logic seems to be skewed. And it's not just on this particular issue. It's the coronavirus. It's the this. It's the that. It's just about everything. There's no logic. Well, I don't think so, Tom. I don't know, unless they're paying a bribe out of the money, maybe. I contemplated it. But then, I thought to myself, listen, she's doing it on her own. If she can't get in on her own, stating that she's married and we have kids and where we're gonna stay and blah blah blah, then it just tells me something. It tells me something about my own government. And so the one thing is that she has her visa. My wife has her visa. It's not going to expire for another 6 or 7 years. So, it makes me wonder about the future. If I want to go home for some reason, then what? Now I got to worry about her being able to get in? I mean, this woman has a kid. What are you going to do? You're going to say, oh, well, he can come in and bring his daughter, but the mother can't come along. I mean, listen, this is not some, I'm sorry, this is not some illegal alien trying to cross over the fence and then whining about it. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody who, like I said before, all the boxes have been checked. No, Longhorns, please. That's ridiculous. It doesn't work that way. The U.S. government is one of the most strict when it comes to letting people in. The UK is a little bit easier. Australia, a little bit easier. And then, I had a girl contact me a couple of months ago asking about getting into the country, and she's not married to this guy. She met him like a month before. And I was like, honey, you got almost no chance. You're not making any money. You got no money saved. He's not going to sign some, paper. I don't know what it is in Canada that if they can sponsor the person coming in or whatever. He wasn't about to do it. So, I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I think that these are the kind of listen, I don't want to know why these sanctuary cities feel that they can let people out that are illegal. The word is illegal. There's a reason why they use that word in front of alien or immigrant. Illegal means they're not allowed to be there. Imagine if I was, going into Germany and I snuck in, they'd boot me right out. They're not going to let me. Well, I don't know about Germany. Sorry, bad example. Germany's a bad example. Speaking of Germany, did you hear that the German chancellor, what's her name? Angela Merkel. Merkel! What is it? Was it Urkel? Yeah. Angela Urkel. Angela Urkel issued a warning to Germans stating that when the virus is out there, the population has no immunity and no therapy exists, then 60% to 70% of the population will be infected. Wow, that's, it's some truth at least. She's putting it out there. Urkel. I like calling her Urkel. Urkel sounds better. But yeah, I mean, I don't understand what the deal is. You got it's like you got the blind leading the blind. I heard Trump's speech today. I heard his little speech. And he's talking about the United States has got the greatest this and the greatest that. We're the greatest. Listen, we don't have to be the fucking greatest. All we have to do is be competent and know what the fuck we're talking about. And sometimes he sounds like, let me just tell you something. He looked exhausted. He looked terrible tonight. I got to say that. I'm not one to slam the president willy-nilly. I don't, feel it does any good. But he did look exhausted. He had bags under his eyes. You could tell he was just reading from the teleprompter, going through the motions, and very low energy. Which, okay, I've been surprised that for somebody his age, he seemed to have as much pep in his step as he's had for the past couple of years. But now it really seems to, really seems to be kicking his ass. Wow. So yeah, he didn't look good. He did not look good. Now, I just did what I always accuse him of doing, which is saying the same things twice. Saying the same things twice. He always does that. If you ever hear him, he does that. Well, I don't know about that. Yeah, healthcare, I mean, please give me a break. Now, he did say in his little speech He did say that insurance companies are going to waive co-payments for the coronavirus, but what about all the people that don't have insurance? See, this is the thing. Listen, I hate Biden. I don't like him. He's lucky that guy that he told was full of shit the other day. He's lucky that guy didn't smack the dog shit out of him, because he's an old man and he doesn't need to be speaking that way. He needs to carry himself with a little more dignity when speaking to others. And, you can bet your ass I won't be voting for him. And Bernie reminds me of Mr. Magoo. So, it's like, and listen, let's look at the Democrats that they put out there. You got Elizabeth Warren, who, say what you will about Trump calling her Pocahontas, but imagine me trying to run and state that, listen, I have Irish blood. It goes back at least 100 and what? 180 years. Okay? 100. Does that mean that I'm Irish? All right, I have a little Irish blood in me. But, what percentage? I don't know. But I'm not going to call I'm Irish. It's ridiculous. And, she has even less than me. She has damn near none in her blood. So, and not only that, I'll tell you what I couldn't stand about her is that she was constantly saying, when I'm president, I'll kiss everybody's ass. When I'm president, I'll make sure none of you have to pay for universities and health care. Everything will be free in the world. When I'm president. The thing is that she should have known she would never be president. There's not a chance in hell she'd be president. Just like there ain't a chance in hell Clinton will be president ever. There's no way. She's got too much baggage. Well, there's more than two candidates, I hate to say, but there's two main candidates. How many of those tourists don't go home? I don't think there's going to be 80 million tourists this year, Fidelity. I think it's down 44%. Something like that. Yeah, tourist arrivals to plunge 50% in the first half of 2020. I got to say that it is troubling here and everywhere else. And while I'm not like deathly afraid, I'm certainly not afraid of the virus. Although it has been described as being one nasty flu. I am kind of worried, concerned about all the ramifications that this virus is causing. Let's see. Dramatic overnight drop in new bookings with cancellations piling up until the end of February and not much movement in March. This is older. Continuation of cancellations, including guests traveling via China or other so-called affected countries. Meetings, incentives, conferences, exhibitions came to a complete stop, and weddings postponed until mid-year for the time being. Inquiries have completely dropped up. Resorts and hotels are looking at cutting costs as much as they can. Complete stop on new recruitment unless absolutely necessary, and closing of entire resort buildings due to reduce operating costs. Wow. That's pretty heavy, man. This has got to be, she's going to have a transgender kid approve or disapprove. Huh? Well, and this is the other thing. I got to say this in light of this comment, will Trump announce a travel ban for Asia should we go home now? The bottom line is you're responsible for yourself. If you want to go home, go home. You want to go walk around, go walk around. When they say, listen, you can't go out because if you go out, we're going to shoot you, then you really need to worry. Now, I'm going to try to isolate myself. This is day one. for 14 days. I'm just going to see. Now, obviously, if something happens and I were to contract the virus, I would isolate myself longer, or I'd go to a hospital. And I'm just saying, I'm doing this for a number of reasons. One is to see, do I have the discipline to do it? I mean, because I don't have to. I can go anywhere I want. If I wanted, I could go somewhere and fly, over to, if I wanted, I could go fly to Italy, as long as they let me in, or Israel, or wherever. Iran. Yeah, I know. We were talking about that earlier, Sky Trooper. No one is uh, immune to this. Oh, here we go. Okay, well, he just wrote me here, my buddy here. Our guest. Hang on a second. I kind of figured he just woke up. Why did I know? I know he was last night. He was upset, and he likes his beer, so I knew he was going to be drinking, and that generally means that he may be a little slow to wake up and may have a little bit of a hangover. But I'd like to hear everything in his own words and let you guys see him, because I did say that I'm just going to have a guest, which is a rare occurrence on this channel. But now I seem to have figured this out. I guess so. Let me get a cup of coffee. Okay, so he'll be okay. Okay, let me. No. All right, let's see here. All right, so he'll be joining us shortly, which is good. It's great. Larry, yeah, I've heard this about the 40-year-olds. It's Houston Rodeo expected to shut down. Yeah, there's a lot of things shutting down. The St. Patrick's Day parade around the world. Millions of people take part in these parades. You got Chicago, Pittsburgh, Dublin, Boston, Denver, New Orleans, New York. They're all canceling the Irish celebrations. However, I did see that New York said, supposedly New York canceled the St. Patrick's Parade, and then they're saying, no, we haven't. The organizers saying, no, we haven't. So I don't really know what the truth is right at the moment. But the parade's been held every year since 1762 and hasn't been canceled in over a century. Numerous live events will be fan-free because of the virus, which, obviously the NBA just came out, and it looks like, forget about it. The March Madness tournament, fan-free or canceled, who knows what's going to happen with that. It may end up being canceled. Listen, I really believe, unless they have this thing completely under wraps, that they definitely need to cancel the Olympics. Simply because this is contagious. It's so contagious. That's the only reason. And that there are going to be a lot of older people there, people who are probably more vulnerable to suffering dire consequences from this virus. All right, our guest will be with us as soon as he grabs a cup of coffee, which is nice. Hopefully I got the Skype set up properly. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason for these big sporting events. Listen, this is something that none of us has seen in our lifetimes. I don't believe there's anybody that old. How old would you have to be? About 102. The Spanish flu. I mean, this is kind of like, like a world war. It's definitely not good. Let's see here, where are we at with Italy? I don't know if they've updated anything here, but let me see. Wow. New cases in Italy, 2,313. New deaths, 196. Spain, new cases, 582. That's about 25%. An increase of about 25%. 19 new deaths. France, 2,281, 497 new deaths, 15 new deaths, 497 new cases. Iran, about almost 1,000 new cases. And, this is the thing, I hate to say this because I don't like giving the CCP any kind of credit at all. None. I don't want to give them any credit. But apparently when you stand outside of an apartment building with a rifle or a gun threatening to shoot somebody if they go outside, and people go, I feel like maybe I need to stay inside so I don't get shot in the head, that apparently works in preventing the spread of the virus. Now, I don't see that happening in Thailand or the United States. I don't see any of this happening. But I do see that what I hope is that people will be smart enough and that things that get closed down will help slow it to the point where it eventually burns itself out. Well, this is the thing. I mean, I've never heard the phrase social distancing. All right, let me see if I can do this here. I'm going to try to get him online. Okay. Let me see if I can get him online and I can do this and I can set it up. All right, let's see here. All right, let's see. You there? There. All right.
Yep, I can hear you. I can't see you yet.
You can't see me. Oh, I can see you.
Okay.
All right, let me see. Let me see if you're online here, because I don't think you are. I think I'm going to be online. Can you guys hear? Can you hear him? At least hear him. Police behavior, people's behavior will have to change. It's the new normal. Yeah, everybody's talking about this virus. Everybody's going crazy about this. Give me a second because there's a lag here. And turn down your computer.
I have you coming out of the TV in the background.
Okay. Well, can you hear me on your headphones or whatever?
I can hear you fine from the TV. Are you getting reverb?
Yeah, that's why. I didn't know if you had headphones or whatever, but whatever. We'll deal with it one way or the other. I'm waiting to hear. Okay, people can hear you. It doesn't look like they can see you, but let me see if let me see what I can see here. Okay, now I can see you, which is good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that over. I can see you. I don't know if it's going to transition. No, I don't think so. I see you, and it's not showing. Let me see here if I can put you up. But at least they can see they can see your, they can hear your lovely voice. Oh, here we go. Good. There we go. Let's see. Crack-a-lacka. Well, I don't know if it's going to work or not. Son of a bitch. Maybe it'll take a second. Let's see, what is this saying here? Conspiracy theories going around. Well, at this point, it doesn't matter why it happened. But I'm going to try to figure this out real quick. Give me a few seconds, Steve. Please,
okay.
Please welcome Mr. Steve. Oh, there he is. Okay, good deal. It's showing up now. Very good. Let me make the screen a little bigger and cover this up. All right, there you are. And there you are. Okay, good deal. Everybody should be able to see him. Very good. Oh, wow, man. All right. Give me a second. Here we are. All right. We're in business. I can't believe it. I figured it out all by myself. I didn't need some tech guru or wizard to help me out. Steve, this is Steve.
John.
He is the former editor of the Phuket Gazette and various other entities. And so let's see here. Hang on a second. I got to get rid of this jackass. Steve, why don't you please, tell people, who you are, what you're doing, what happened, and give us the 411.
Yeah, okay. I don't know, 30-year expat, moved here in 1989 to escape one winter in New England or Canada, where I went to school. Fell in love with the place, been here ever since. I live in Songkhla district, or I live in Renault district of Songkhla,
Uh-huh.
kind of the middle of a really small town in the sticks. Been married for 15 years. I have a 15-year-old daughter. I live in this big house where we take care of my two elderly parents-in-law, who you might hear squawking in the background. And my wife has been back with us. We've been back to the States twice over the years. One time to spend a summer. Second time was my parents on their 50th birthday. It took us on a cruise to the Caribbean. We all went back. We had a great time for that.
Uh-huh.
She got the visas issued from the U.S. Embassy on her own, no problem. And we're taking my daughter to live with her aunt, who lives in Knoxville, Tennessee. Well, at least that was the plan.
Uh-huh.
We applied for a visa for my wife.
This is like a week ago?
That was like 2 weeks ago. We applied the first time, and I thought it would just be easy because she's had passports that show she's been in the United States before. She had pictures of her parents.
Uh-huh.
We run a little English language school down here. We're committed. We're part of the community. Tried to provide all the information they wanted, but she was rejected. And all she said was that the officer who made the decision said, well, why didn't you give your husband's real passport? I just provided a signed copy of it with the documents. So I thought, okay, well, I'll not only supply the original passport, I'll just come up and interview with her.
Okay.
And, yesterday they wouldn't let me attend the interview with her.
Right. Well, that's normal. That is normal.
That's normal. But that's still something I just had to learn from experience, unfortunately.
But, I mean, you didn't remember this from the last time?
Well, no, she just did it by herself the last time.
Oh, the last two times she did it by herself, and you didn't go or whatever, so you just figured, oh, well, I'm her husband, they'll let me in. And that's not how it works. I hate to tell you, dude. They're assholes at the embassy. I mean, and I understand they have to be sticklers about certain things, but like, they probably do that to avoid people going in there and coaching their, whether it's their girlfriend trying to get a fiance visa or whatever it is. I don't know, but that's probably why they do it. And they don't make these things known, so it's all conjecture, really.
I understand that now. If I had known there was no way I could have attended the interview, why would I have closed my school down for 2 days, paid for a plane ticket? You know what I mean? It's just like I reckon I'm already out about 30,000 baht.
Yeah.
Not including lost revenue from closing the school down and all the hassle and.
Right. Well, the hassle. That's what's kind of priceless is that the hassle. You can't put a price on that, and that's even more frustrating because like you said, you take a trip all the way down there, and then for what? Even if you went there, even if you were to go there and like, you go there and you can't go in and you just want to provide support to her. If she got approved, then it's kind of like, okay, well, you can't go in, no big deal. But once they say, sorry, you can't even come in and you're getting denied, even though she's had it twice before, that's a bit of a, That's a bit fucked up.
Yeah, with documented evidence that she's been admitted on a visa and she's come out before.
Now,
And
tell us,
you know,
uh-huh. Go ahead.
go.
Your screen is freezing up. I don't know why, but it doesn't matter. We can hear you, so that's pretty much what's important. But go ahead.
Okay, what do you want?
Yeah. So, wait, your daughter has a U.S. passport.
Yeah, she has 3 U.S. passports by now because they issue them on, you know.
Right, every 5
So she's got
years
a
or
current.
whatever. When you're a kid, they're like 5 years,
Yeah.
and then
So
5 years, and then 10 years.
yeah,
Right.
she's on a valid U.S. passport, and I
So, in other words, you could go in to the United States with her, but her mother couldn't come along with you.
yeah,
And see,
they
what
denied.
really, the reason, listen, I mean, people get denied all the time. I understand that. But what really pissed me off is that I am similar to you in that I have children. My children have U.S. passports. They are U.S. citizens. They could go live in America and there would be no problem. They could go live there. Now, if they turned my wife down, I would be pissed. I would be like, hey, wait a minute. So what am I supposed to do? I bring my kids in. My kids are going to live in the United States, but they can't live with their mother. And then you got people letting all these people from wherever they're coming from go into the country. And guess what? They let them come in illegally. And then they allow them to stay even though they know they're illegal. And then they won't let people who are legitimate and who are married to somebody who've got kids and they need to take care of them and be with them and raise them. They won't let that happen.
Precisely. They don't. They're not. They. Their objectives are way off target, and they're penalizing people. Not just penalizing, but in the worst possible way. They're penalizing people who play by the rules. There's no reason whatsoever that she should have been denied a visa. I was never given a valid explanation. I'm sure I never will. My daughter wrote a long, impassioned letter to the embassy yesterday. I'm sure she'll just get some bullshit reply. No reason whatsoever. It's heartbreaking, and it's heartbreaking. It's a total waste of time and money. It just makes me feel disgusted to be an American.
Yeah. And then you see all these other people who aren't Americans. They get to come into the country. And basically, some of them, I mean, they get provided with funds to help them start out and, get better their life and start their life up. And then, who's paying for this? It's a taxpayer who are paying this for this. And then here you are, you try to come in with your wife, and then they don't allow this to happen. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I couldn't even use the bathroom at the embassy. They wouldn't even let me in. It's just like, I don't know. It seems like it's really totalitarian and inhuman, and it's an insult to my intelligence, and it's an insult to, how I've respectfully played along with the system for so long, and now it's just and there's no explanation. And I think, as I said to you yesterday, like I really feel like for the first time that it's like, like there's all these dystopian things about like, AI taking over and humans losing control. I don't hold this against any individual personally. I think it might be a Trump policy. I don't know, but I think.
Okay, well, that's coming to the Trump policy. Tell us what led you to believe that this was a Trump policy, because it wasn't just you thinking this. You didn't just come up with, oh well, this is a Trump policy. You spoke to someone.
Well, I mean,
after the fact.
I follow the news. I know what his.
No. That's not what I mean. You at the embassy, you met someone and started talking to them, and they told you that it happened. This was something that regularly happened because of the leader, the United States leader.
Well, this information, when I was waiting outside for my wife to come through, and I met this he's American, but he has like a strong German accent. It turns out he's actually originally from Hungary, but you know, he had a Thai wife, and he said she had been denied a visa. Now she was going for like one of these higher end visas, you know, where they can come and get a green card and all that. I don't know what class it is. And he was like strongly recommending that I talk to his visa agent that he used. He said he paid 5,000 baht to her.
Well, that's not very much, actually.
Oh, no, sorry, not 5,000 baht, $5,000.
Oh, okay. Well, now that's different.
Yeah, and I didn't, you know, I never want to use lawyers or agents or middlemen for anything. It's just part of my being. But after, you know, we waited half an hour or so, and then his wife got the visa she wanted, and then my wife came out crying.
Right.
She was denied, and so we did talk to her, and she told me specifically in Thai. She said, "Well, ever since your new," she said, "Nai Luang," or not Nai Luang. She said, the Thai word for prime minister. You know, she said, ever since your new prime minister came in, the policy has changed, and like, you know, wives of expats are just not being given tourist visas, and that's the policy. And she's seen it a lot before. You know, she's seen other people denied.
Right. Now, this is an agent that I assume this is her job. This is something that she does on a regular basis, and she's seen this happen more than once.
Yeah. Her
Right.
name is Rita Sarita Ratanapan. I don't know. But
Well,
yeah,
it doesn't
so-
really matter what her
but
name
the thing
is, but what does matter, first of all, you know, listen, while I want to believe that maybe it has to do with Trump, because it might, it definitely might, you know, I mean, it definitely might, it might, I don't know, you know, I don't always believe everything an agent says, because sometimes what they're getting is maybe hearsay, and you know, you don't know where she got her information from. It may be that, you know, because I don't think that they're telling her, if any, who knows how many people have been denied that she's tried to help, and have they given her a reason, and was it just somebody who was like, going, I don't know, maybe it was because of Trump, or, you know, blame it on Trump, or, you know, you don't know. That's the whole thing. So it's hard to say, you know, to say that without a doubt it's Trump or his policies, because for all you know, and for all we know, it could just be because right now of the virus, or it could be because too many Thais have came in this year, whatever, and they want to cut the number of people down. He's you know, trimmed the number of tourist visas that are allowed for. So I don't know, you know, I mean.
Maybe you know, maybe the officer on duty hadn't eaten lunch yet or something. He was in a bad mood. You know, there's studies that show that these things affect decisions as well. I don't know. The bottom line is, I will never know, and I will send it. I complained about it. They sent somebody out to deal with me. I was upset.
Right.
They said, oh, and like sent out like an officer who's just a cute Thai girl, just like, you know, this is our post. This is our post. But I will never get a one-on-one, face-to-face explanation as to why she was rejected.
Right.
They gave you like they give you a little note saying, this is to inform you that you've been denied a visa. Like, if you want to apply again, you can, but make sure you bring more documents, or, you know, it's just all generic bullshit. It's totally impersonal.
Now let me ask you this though. I got to ask you one thing. Before, when you lived in Phuket, when I visited you in Phuket, you owned that house, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the bank owned most of it, but yeah, we were paying the loan.
Yeah, but you had a note on the house. You had the channel. Now, what about the place you live now?
My wife. This is like a family. I live in a mansion built by my brother-in-law who does direct sales.
But all that doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, you don't have the note for it, so you couldn't show that this time. Right? Is that right?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
It
shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter, because I mean, like, my wife doesn't own the house. We don't own this house that we live in. Now, I don't know what the deal is with the place down in the south. I don't know. I don't believe she's on the note, but I don't think that had anything to do with their decision. But I was just wondering, just to compare before and now, to see has anything changed. Aside from the fact that you're older, you've been here longer, you've been married longer, and it's like they're telling you, no, you can't. Sorry, you can't bring your wife in, and that is separating the family. Because what if you wanted to move there and say, listen, we're gonna deal with it, and we'll work it out, we'll figure something out, but we want her to move here, and they just say, no, sorry, you can't do it. How fucked up is that?
Exactly.
I mean, listen, I understand reducing immigration in the United States, but how about you stop being so generous and letting all these fucking people from countries who, oh, we're in a war zone, we're in this, we're that. Listen, I understand that and I feel for you, but you know what? The people who are American citizens, their spouses, their loved ones, their children need to be first priority.
And that's exactly.
And this is not, for me, this is not a democratic or this is not a partisan issue. It should not be a partisan issue. It's about, listen, some guy in the from Sudan, his entire village got bombed, and he wants to get away because his family's going to die. Listen, I understand you want to come to America, you want to go somewhere. I understand you want to get away from your country. I understand that. I'm not completely unfeeling. However, I think that somebody like you or me, and this is why I always say this, and I say this about Thailand as well. I wanted to become a Thai citizen. I wanted to get my permanent residency. They won't allow me to do it unless I pay taxes in Thailand. I don't want to pay taxes here. You understand? So it's not only America.
Oh yeah. I do pay taxes.
Right, I know. So that's where we're different.
But as we discussed yesterday, at least the Thai system, it's inherently corrupt. It's extremely bureaucratic.
Right.
But they will give you a list of 15 documents that you need, like the health certificate by Rep Pet, and if you bring them in and you check all the boxes, they'll give you what you applied for almost always.
Right.
And if they don't, they'll tell you why. But with the American system, it's just like they don't tell you what they want or what they need, and then they reject you, and then there's no explanation.
And what that does is that causes ill feelings. It causes a lot of hatred towards the system. And while I can't say the United States has been bad to me in any way, I mean, not that I can think of off the top of my head. I do have my issues with the country, but I can certainly tell you that if my wife got denied a visa, I would be fucking livid. I would be so pissed off. Not only for financial reasons. I mean, the money alone would piss me off because you spend $1,000 to take care of everything. $1,000. That's not chicken scratch.
Yeah, I'm out $1,000 on this. Yeah. It's like I teach little kids English at a government school here. We run a school here. I charge them 100 baht an hour to study English. That's the revenue from that has to support our entire family,
right,
and this house, and it's just it offsets most of it,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not in a position to be shaken down by the U.S. government for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that you would get shaken down by the U.S. government, but they do it all the time. And this is the thing: people think that Thailand's so corrupt and United States is such a great place. No, what it is, it doesn't have to do with that. What it is the United States is less blatant about it. Thailand tells you exactly what they want, and if it's corrupt, it's corrupt. And this is what we do. This is how our system works. You do it this way. Yeah. And if you don't like it, tough shit. In the United States, they don't tell you anything. They just say, this is the way it is, and it could be corrupted. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But
I know the lawyers have everything. It's like one of those, it's like the Russian doll thing. They've got everything hidden inside something else. You can never get to the bottom of it. You can never get.
I've never heard it put that way, but yeah, that's pretty funny.
Or interaction with a human being. So they
Right,
hire,
right.
representatives to come out to explain to people like me who are upset as just some cute Thai girl who's just saying, well, that's the policy, and that's all we can do, and you can write an email to this address.
Right, right.
It's just it's inhuman and it's off-putting and it's
Yeah, of
the only
course.
reason I really wanted to do this is like I just want to warn other people, other Americans who have Thai wives, um, just don't apply for a
Well,
tourist visa for your
if
wife.
you
Waste of money
here's the thing, you can't
for.
really say don't apply because most people are going to be like, well, I got to take the
Well,
chance,
apply, but
but expect that understand that it may come down to them saying, it's as simple as them saying, nah, sorry, you don't qualify, and you may think you've done everything possible and showed everything, and there's absolutely no reason, and you're still going to get denied. So you need to go in expecting that to happen, because if you don't, you may be sorely disappointed. Payam, who are you talking to? Do you pay taxes to the U.S. government? You have to pay taxes to the U.S. government if you earn over a certain amount and you're working here.
well,
But if you're not making over, it's what, like $108,000 or something like that.
I don't know, but I just got a tax. I just got like a tax refund. It took me 3 or 4 years to get up. I didn't realize I had to pay taxes to the IRS because they make no money.
Yeah, yeah.
But I did sort it all out. I paid an agent,
Uh-huh.
and I got I tried to like he made it so like I was like gonna be clear for the last 3 years, 2016 to 2018. I had to pay him 16,000 baht to do it.
Wow.
I never got the refund, and then like he agreed to do my 2018 taxes for me for free. Well, they were arbitrating the previous case.
Now, this is
I did
taxes in
finally get the
Thailand.
check. No, this is my U.S.
U.S.
taxes.
taxes. Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
what I thought, but you were
So
talking
I'm
in
up to
baht.
I'm up to I'm okay with the IRS as we speak.
Right, right.
After 25 years of having no interaction with them whatsoever, not or even realizing that I had to. You
Right.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Wow.
I
Well,
don't
you
know.
got one guy here saying that he thinks that you got to find out the rules by trial and error of Thai immigration, which I understand. It seems like that, and sometimes, yeah, okay, you may not know something, but um, for the most part, they tell you can find out. It's your duty to find everything out, and if they say, hey, you may need a medical certificate. And some people are saying, no, you don't need it. It probably is best to just get the medical certificate. So it's when you go in, you got it. And I said this before where I went into banks, I went into immigration, I've done all kinds of things where I had extra paperwork. I've had my marriage certificate, the translation of it in English, and I've had all kinds of other paperwork. My kids, their certificate of birth abroad. They didn't state that that was necessary. I just brought it anyway. And
Yeah.
that helped me to
Yeah.
do whatever I
Well,
wanted to get accomplished, whatever it is I wanted to get accomplished. You know.
yeah, but there's at least there's still like a certain level of human interaction when you deal with the Thai bureaucracy, and that just no longer exists when dealing with the U.S. system.
Yeah, it sure
They've
seems that
really,
way. I can tell you that, like with Social Security and with now with the I used to have savings bonds, and you used to get physical savings bonds. You don't get that anymore. You got to go through their website. And with Social Security, they're only open uh, during U.S. hours. You can't go on to Social Security and log into their website if it's not during business hours in the United States, which I find completely strange. I don't understand that at all. Will you
yeah.
qualify for Social Security work in the United States, Steve, working in Thailand? Have you earned enough credits?
Um, I really have no idea. I just the main motivation for me to get clear with the IRS was not to get any benefits out of it in terms of Social Security.
No, I understand that, but don't you care about getting Social Security? I mean, you've been here 30 years, so you were young when you came over here. You've been here longer than I am, and you came over younger than I was. But like Social Security, if you earn a certain amount of, I actually will earn more money now, just because I don't know why, but I'm going to earn more money than say a couple of years ago. It works that in any certain period of time, I forget what it is, but I get more money from Social Security than I would have got like 10 years ago. And so that's, to me, it's like, hey, listen, I want my money back. I want my money. Now, if Trump passes this payroll tax thing, apparently this is going to it may affect Social Security, but I don't know. And this is the thing. A lot of it we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. It's just like with the visa for your wife. It's not like the U.S. government. They don't seem very transparent nowadays.
Well, I never, like, I have Thai Social Security. Like, I worked for 10 years for a company, and like when I took I left them. I continued to do work in the media, but when I left them, I had been in the system for like almost 10 years, and like they allowed me to keep paying into the Thai Social Security system. So I am okay here. Like, I've had multiple eye operations on my hand.
Right. Yeah, I'm talking about when you retire, when you stop working.
Well,
if you ever do. I mean,
I've never thought about that or looked into it. I mean, I inherited money when my parents passed over the last couple of years, so that should be enough, to cover me living here. But but the main reason for me to get up to date with Social Security was because I realized that my brothers and sisters said, like, well, when your daughter's over here, she's going to want to apply for university, and like she's going to want to try to get like financial aid or something, and it's really important that you get up to date with the IRS, otherwise she wouldn't be considered.
Wow.
And that was the main reason that I
you did it for her. You didn't do it because you wanted to get legit. Which is you think like me. It's like, listen. So do you plan? Let me ask you this. This aside, this glitch aside, because who knows? She could get in. In the next few months, you could reapply and she could get in. I don't know. I don't see that happening anytime soon. If they turned her down once, they'll probably
turn. Reapply. Why would I reapply? There's no. I mean, they didn't even look at the extra documents that I gave her on the second round. So there's no point in me reapplying unless somebody tells me what went wrong and like how I can fix it.
So, are you going to write to anybody? Are you going to write to a congressman or somebody like that?
No, there's not enough time. The time frame is too narrow now, and I
don't mean to try to get her like an emergency entrance. I'm talking about to find out what the fuck's going on. Not that it's probably going to matter, but
as I mentioned before, I'm a moderator at Thai Visa, and I'm just putting the information out there. That's why I'm talking to you. I want people to know: don't waste your time and money. Or your expectations, like if you
better temper your expectations right now.
Yeah, and my wife, she cried, and like now we're just like, okay,
she's over it.
We're over it. We're dealing. Well, with
Thais tend to get over things pretty quickly. I mean, they're pretty strong. But I'm sure she's very disappointed. I can tell you, my wife would be extremely disappointed, and I would be pissed. And that would now. Let me ask you this: do you ever plan on going back to the United States? I mean, do you think, well, maybe I'll go back to the United States and like my dying years, I'll spend in the United States?
No way. I have no desire to ever go back there. There's the only thing I miss about the U.S. is that it's clean, and it's better for driving. I kind of miss driving there compared to the chaos of driving here. And it's like here where I live, it's like a particularly bad mess. I hate to see the environment treated this way. But
Right,
apart from
right.
those, the culture, like I had no desire to go back there. I'm just doing it for my daughter.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, here's the thing. What happens if your daughter wants to move to the United States, and then your wife can't even get in?
Well, my daughter's a dual citizen.
No, I know that, but I mean, like, will it come down to your daughter's going to have to sponsor her mother? She's going to have to sponsor her mother to get into the United States. That's what's going to have to happen. She's going to have to provide some kind of a bond, like through a company or something like that. That's about the only way she'll be able to get in if they don't change things, or if they want to, continue to do things the way they're doing now. If they're going to make it difficult for Thai citizens. And
I,
we should say again. I should say again that this is not like Steve hooked up with her in some pattaya bar and she's covered with tattoos and she's like she speaks in pidgin English and shit like that. That's not how it is. I mean, you operate an English school. She's educated. Your daughter speaks good English. I mean, so I don't get it. And it would be
yeah, there's
nice
no.
to get an answer.
It's hard for me to be objective about it because I love my wife. It's like, but no, she's like, you know, I, she's got a university degree. She's professional. There's nothing that, again, I can't be totally objective about it, but I can't see any indicators that she would be rejected just by her appearance or her character or anything that,
Yeah.
I can't imagine it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for you, man, because when my wife's visa's over, I'm a little concerned about what'll happen, and I'll be honest, I'm concerned even if she was to fly now, with me and the kids, they could be like, oh, sorry, you come with me, come to the side, and she'd be like, what? And then they go, oh, you can't come in. And she'd be like, what? I got to fly back home. And here we are. It's me and my boys. And we're like trying to go into the United States. And my mother's waiting outside to pick us up or something. And it's like, where's Bo? Where's your wife at? She can't come in. She got denied entry. What the fuck is that, man? I'm laughing, but I'm not.
I know it's a huge disconnect. Like, you hear all these stories about Trump's ripping families apart at the border and all this, but it just seems so far away from your own reality. It's just like you just wonder, like, you're just being manipulated by the left wing media and all this, and then you just okay, just keep playing by the rules, do everything they want, get up to par with the IRS, just try to be a good citizen, and then you just bang in your face.
Right,
you
right.
from your own government. It's really humiliating.
Yeah, yeah, and frustrating. God, I mean, that's the thing. Like I told you yesterday, I really don't even know what to say other than I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said earlier in the stream, I've been contacted by women, and I've talked to people before. I've talked to women before, and guys who have Thai women, and some of them, they're like, oh yeah, I met her at the massage parlor, but she's a really good girl, and I'm like, dude, if she puts down she worked at a massage parlor, they're gonna deny her straight away. Chances are slim to none that she's gonna get in. Or something like that. Or, hey, she's, she's a really nice girl. And then he sends me a picture of her and she's covered in tats. I'm sorry. But, say what you will about, like, people with tattoos. And I've said this before and I got shit for it. But, if some woman is covered up in tattoos, some of the officials in the United States, and especially here in Thailand, you start talking to some Thai official here, and some girl covered up in tats and she's got gold hanging all over her. They're not going to speak to her with the same respect that they speak to someone who doesn't have tattoos and isn't dripping in gold like some Isan farm girl who was working at a bar. And the same goes with the U.S. Embassy. They just, listen, that's the way that it works. It's a visual. And then they just automatically think, oh, we don't want her in our country, for whatever reason. But that's not the case, and that's what makes it so difficult to
Yeah.
understand.
Well, I know. I have a lot of friends who married who have married girls that worked in bars or, entertainment places. And for the most part, they've all turned out to be really good wives and partners,
Right, right.
and I don't hold any, I mean, personally, I'm not a fan of
Uh-oh.
really honest, upstanding people who have covered with tattoos. And that's,
Right,
it's
right.
on that. Yeah. But it's like none of this, but this is all off the radar. I have no clue as to why my wife was denied. None whatsoever. And all I can do
Yeah.
is follow in this crazy conjecture as to what the case might be. And that's,
Well, you know what I was saying earlier is that it seems that all semblance of common sense and decency and actual analytical thinking about what's going on it has disappeared. And it's not just in America, it's not just in Thailand, it's all over the place. It seems like a lot of people and a lot of organizations, embassies, immigration, whatever businesses, they just act because they think this is what I have to do. And they don't really think about the one-to-one issue, the personal the personal problem that it might create or what's going on. They don't think
yeah.
about things on a small scale, and it's um,
Well,
I
it goes back to the point I made before about like the the AI fears, like AI taking over. I really do feel like this is like I'm starting to feel indications that like we're starting to separate from reality. Just
well,
like
yeah, and here's the thing that I was just thinking about this the other day is computers are great, but just remember that the people who create them are humans. So if they input faulty information or information that's slighted one way or the other, then the computer is slighted. Then the computer is weighed a certain direction. It's just like the algorithms in Twitter and in Facebook and YouTube and everything else.
yeah,
That's and I can tell you, as somebody on YouTube, that like if you get uh, if the system thinks one way about your particular channel or your like your Facebook account or whatever it is, then they can block you, they can deny you, they can do all kinds of things, and there's nothing you can do about it. You don't have any. The thing is, you have no recourse. What recourse do you have with the U.S.
exactly.
Embassy? You got none.
Zero. Yeah, that
You
just
know,
gets back to
so
my point. We're just
yeah.
separating from the system.
So tell us something good, Steve. You're going to go to work today, I take it.
I'm going to go into a government school where I have 22 little Thai kids that, a constant challenge. It's real,
They
there's
expect
no
you to be
computer
on
interface.
at all times.
They expect to be on. They are afraid to be hit. They
Afraid to be
they
hit?
interact with each other.
What are they afraid to be hit for?
not because they'll get hit if they go too far out of line.
What?
I don't hit them. I just like physically they're kids. They're 6 years old. They need that. They need it and they want it. I'm not condoning hitting.
Wait a minute. You hit them, or you just kind of like give them the eye, the evil eye?
Well, if they're not,
Is that the
no,
norm in Thai?
I'll just pick them up and put them where they
Oh.
were told to be.
Oh,
Type of thing.
okay.
My wife might take a smack, but but it's not it's not in anger. It's just like
Oh, okay. Well,
it's old school,
like kind of like nuns. Nuns with the stick across the hand. Listen, I gotta tell you that my kids told me that like, oh well, the teacher said if you didn't do this or you didn't do that he was going to hit you, and I said if that teacher ever hits you, that teacher better understand I'm going to come in there and I'm going to knock him out. I'll knock him out for hitting my kid. It's one thing if you like, oh, listen, I got to pick you up, and you're going to have to go over here and stop crying, go over and sit in the corner. That's a little bit different than like swatting the kid across the head or something. Like because I mean, think about it. When we were growing up and you were a kid, I don't know about you, but people got hit, kids got hit back then. Now they don't. Generally, at least in the United States, I don't think they're supposed to. You know, it's
Yeah,
it's not the norm like it was, say, 50 years ago. 50 years
yeah.
ago, you got smacked on the ass, or maybe you got a little rap on the head or something like that. Nowadays, it's not like that. And I'll tell you, I mean, honestly, I've never hit my kids, and neither is my. I think my wife might have smacked one of them on the ass or something because they ran out in the street. But we've never had to because they've always been very respectful and listened to us. But not all kids are like that, and I don't know why they are the way they are. But I've been fortunate in that, So
Well, I've had a lot of parents, like, because we have, when I teach at our school here, like we have pretty close relationships with most of the parents, and like it's common for them to encourage me to hit their kids when they're out of line.
yeah, well, that doesn't really surprise me. Fidelity.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. The only recourse I can think of is your U.S. Congress or representative. Yeah. Well, that's the recourse. There's no recourse. What I mean is there's no immediate recourse. You can't go and go, hey, listen, I want to speak to the manager. Most of the time, you go, I want to speak to somebody who's, the head consul, the head of the, what do they call it? The consul general of the U.S. Embassy, and I want to, plead my case to them. They don't care. It's like the person who you dealt with is the person you dealt with, and if the consul general says it's approved, then they stamp it, then that's the way it is. But otherwise, they're not going to change their mind because you're pissed off. So there's no recourse in that sense. That's what I mean. You can always write your congressman or whatever, but what the hell is that going to do? It's not going to.
no.
If you got a ticket that you're supposed to leave in 2 months, when are you supposed to leave?
Well, I haven't booked the ticket because we were waiting to get the visa and then we'll book the tickets. But now that's probably on my to-do list now since.
Well, maybe that could have been the reason, eh?
No, no.
You don't think so? I can't remember if we had the ticket.
I wrote a very detailed letter saying exactly why we're going. I said,
No, I
we don't have.
understand that, but if you don't have the tickets, I don't remember if we had our tickets prior to getting approved, or we got it afterwards. I don't remember. To be honest.
I did some research into this,
Uh-huh.
and I came up with like former embassy workers who said, it's not contingent on whether you have.
Do you remember before if you had the visa before you got the tickets? Do you remember when she got her other visa?
The last time we went back for their 50th anniversary, my parents bought like tickets for a cruise that we went on, and like, so we had documented evidence of tickets for this cruise, and like apparently.
Yeah, but that's not an airline ticket. I understand that, but I'm just trying to think like they might think, because
I think you're overthinking it. I don't think
maybe I am. Maybe I am, but you know what? But I'm trying to think like they might think, because you think I'm overthinking it, but I'm trying to think of every angle. And
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like, so I doubt that. I mean, why would you go and get a ticket? Like, they may say, oh, well, get a refundable ticket. Yeah, well, that cost me $1,000 more, or something. I don't know. They don't care about all that shit. That's the thing when it comes to the legalities of all this shit.
If they would have told me, if they told me, okay, come try again and have an airline ticket, and if you have an airline ticket,
right, you would have had it.
That's what I would do, but I can't get any information back whatsoever.
Yeah. Now,
So
when
it's like,
she
how many times do you have to go around?
I understand.
Like
I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to think of all the different angles. But what I'm thinking now is, when she applied online. Isn't that how it's done?
Yeah, I applied.
You helped her fill everything out.
Make a DS-160. I did it all for her.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I helped my wife a little bit, but she did. She provided me with the information that was needed. I just helped input all the information and everything. But I don't remember, because it's been years. So that's the thing. If I had just done it a week ago, that'd be a little bit different. But
well,
like one guy said here,
the the system now is a lot more automated, and it's all online, and again, the whole thing is just like it's just becoming less human interaction and more about completing.
Yeah, but she had to go in for the interview. So I'm trying to figure out what was different from the first time to the first and second time that she went, and also, when did you guys go the last two times? What years were those?
We went. Okay, I've been back 4 times since 2008. 2008.
Not you, her.
Okay, she went back 2008, 1 month on Cape Cod, and then 2011, 50th anniversary. That was
now, and when she went in 2011, she didn't have to get a new visa.
Right.
She was on the same visa.
Yeah.
But the 2008 visa expired in 2018. So now she had to get the new visa. So yeah, so I mean that's the thing. I'm trying to think of what was different and what was different when I applied when my wife applied, when we went, and then the times that she applied before. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, but that's the thing, is they don't make it easy. I don't remember exactly. They don't have like on the Thai things that you can see all over the place. They just have, this is what you need. Boom, 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 boom. They have a checklist. Yeah. You provide all that information and you get it. And I don't remember that on the U.S. Embassy site. Actually,
no recourse, no. It's just.
Let me see.
It's all barcodes and QR codes, and that's it.
Yeah. Let me see something here. I mean, you're saying barcodes and Q codes for what? For.
Oh, like you have to apply online and get DS 160. That goes through. Then you have to pay online to into some Bank of America account. You wait 2 days.
I vaguely remember this.
It's all online. There's no human. I honestly think that there was no human input into her rejection whatsoever. I think it's just a policy that's just, and it's I don't know. It's just really sad. It's really sad that this is.
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand that. Let me see something here. I'm looking at their website now to see if they have any sort of how to pay your SEVIS fee. Jesus Christ, and this is the thing. They've made it so difficult. What was it like 150 years ago when you just signed a ship's bill and got in, and you just filled out a little paper, and now you're in the United States. Let me see this thing,
You're right. It's the ultimate sort of not contradiction. It's the ultimate. It's where we came from and where we're going just seem to be.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, and this is. I know I complain sometimes about being old and stuff, and about not liking the way I see the world going. But I'm sure that there are a lot of people who 50 years ago were like, I don't like how things were before, and I like the way it is now. And there's a lot of people before that were going, I don't like the way things are heading now. It's 1945. It should be better. They're changing this and they're changing that. And I understand that. But yeah, it doesn't tell me anything right here on the visa application page. It just says interview procedure. What to expect? Arrive at the embassy. Security check, hand in your passport, submit your documents. Verify fingerprints, interview. That's it. That's all they got on here. Now, I don't know. I've looked around a little bit, and it's not easy to find everything that you need. Here we go. Non-immigrant visa FAQs. I pity somebody trying to get a K1 visa. Jesus Christ. I mean, what the hell, man? You're already married. You've been married for years, and it's like, oh, well, sorry, we're not going to let your wife in. Oh, but we'll let this chick come in that the guy's known for. He's known her for, 3 months, and they're madly in love. We'll let her in. I mean, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. I have
Let
no
me see
idea.
something here. I got the FAQs up here. I am a third country national
Well,
living in Thailand. Yeah, can I submit my visa application electronically? Yeah, it doesn't really tell you the documents that you need. You know, which I don't know. I'm sure you can find them either on that site or uh, some other sites. But anyway, I'm going to assume that if something is wrong, like wanting the original passport, they tell you. If you're denied with no explanation, that means you did it right, but we're saying no. Okay, but we're saying no. Why? I'm an American citizen. I want my wife to come into the country. What's the problem? If there's a problem, please let me know, because can I rectify the problem? And then I can get her in. You know.
yeah, that's exactly where we are. I have no idea. I can't keep spinning this retarded rat wheel again. It's costing me too much. It's just,
Yeah.
so let's just try to summarize it here.
Yeah. Well, it's very easy to summarize, to be
Yeah, it's
honest.
just like if I would say I think there's a policy now that if you're the spouse of an American citizen and you're Thai, you're not going to get a tourist visa. So don't bother applying. Now, if you want to, if you hear this and you still want to apply, good luck to you, and I hope you get it. But
Right.
keep your expectations low.
Temper your expectations. Um, and that's not to say that maybe somebody who's on a fiance visa or something like that, or a work visa, can't get in. I don't know, because I don't have any experience with that. This guy is saying he got his wife on K1 visa from Vietnam, but that's different. And this is the thing. Why should somebody with a K1 visa take precedence over somebody who's already married? I don't get that at all.
Yep, it's a good question. I don't understand it either.
I mean, the people who are married, who are families, especially if you got kids, man, they should come first. That's just, maybe I'm wrong, but that's my opinion, and I don't think I'm wrong. I'm rarely wrong.
Yeah.
At
Well,
least
you're not gonna get a letter of explanation
at
from the
least
U.S.
that's what my wife
So.
doesn't tell me. No, my wife tells me all the time how wrong I am. Anyway, yeah, so, there it is there. Well, Steve, I appreciate you joining us. And like I said, I don't know what to tell you. I feel for you, because it could be me.
Yeah, well, thanks for listening. I just wanted to get it out there so
Yeah, anytime. You're more
keep
than
other people
welcome.
apprised of the
Steve's
situation.
got a wealth of information on Thailand. He's one of the few people that I believe when it comes to information about Thailand, because some people, they come here for a year or two, 3 years, and they think they know everything, and they're basically full of shit, or they're faking it. But he's not. He's the real deal. And he's living out there in Songkla. Uh, he's living among Thais on a day-to-day basis, and he's speaking Thai. He's dealing with them in Thai. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. But anyway, I appreciate it, Steve, and I will talk. I'll let you go. I know you got work to do, and I will talk to you soon.
All right, buddy.
All right,
Good
man.
talk.
Take it easy. Have a
Bye.
Guinness for me.
Well
All right,
tried.
man. Later.
All right,
Bye.
over now.
All right. All right. Well, I'm glad that the Skype managed to get through. He's already been denied twice. This is the thing. Um, okay, but he's already been denied twice. He went in once, and they said, "Oh, you're denied, but you've got to bring your she's got to bring his original passport, his actual passport, in, not a copy of his passport." Which I don't understand that, because technically you're not supposed to do that, and I don't remember doing that. And then he gave her that, and actually gave her other documents. just in case, and they didn't even bother looking at him. They just turned her down straight away, so, and, to say that it's all about the person who is doing the interview, okay, it's always about a person. I mean, if anybody really wants to, you go to Thai immigration and you go, here's my 90-day report. Sorry, no, you got to leave. I mean, if they really want to, they can do that. They have that kind of clout. You may bitch and moan, and you may, eventually be able to come back in. And all I can think of is, I remember Bernard. Remember Bernard? Bernard, who whined and cried about having to get a proper visa. And by a proper visa, I mean not a tourist visa. And then when they finally booted him out, he got pissed off and pissed and moaned and blamed it all on the Thai government. When in this case, it was his fault. It was Bernard's fault. It wasn't anybody else's fault. It was his fault. They told him, we're not going to let you back in if you don't get a 1-year visa. And he didn't want to. Well, then, don't bitch if you're going to get denied. In Steve's case, I mean, I shouldn't even have to explain this shit to anybody. Because, first of all, he's married. He's not married. It's not a marriage of convenience. Believe me. My wife is pretty laid back. His wife is not quite as laid back as my wife. My wife is pretty mellow. I want to go somewhere. Yeah, okay, no problem, Oh, yeah. I mean, Bernard's been pissing and moaning and whining, about that for, I don't know how long it's been now, a couple of years. And, the thing is I don't feel bad for him at all. I don't feel bad for him one bit. Do I feel bad for Steve? Yes, definitely. Because he's been legitimately married. He's got a child. That child can go into the United States anytime he wants. Why would you grant the child U.S. citizenship because she is a child and is blood? But yet you wouldn't even grant a visa. I'm not saying grant a permanent visa to the wife. You wouldn't grant a visa for, say, 1 month or 1 year or 10 years like they grant. My wife's got the 10-year visa. His wife had the 10-year visa. Usually it's a 10-year visa. Maybe they want to just wait and see. Maybe they're taking the wait and see approach and, they want to find out what's going to happen in the future. I don't know. And that's what makes it so difficult for people to understand because they don't get the answer. So, I can understand it's heartbreaking for him and for her because she's like, what? I never did anything wrong. I'm a good person. I'm decent. And, I work my ass off and we saved all our money up to do this. And, here it is. Now we just pissed it away. And it's like, what? Is it a racket? Oh, well, we're going to take your money even though we know the chance of you getting through is pretty slim. I don't know, I don't know if it's that deep, but I can tell you that from what I know and from what I've seen, from my experiences, I can tell you that when it comes to legal matters, and I'm talking about anything that could be put in front of a court, like I said, you didn't have your airline tickets. Okay, boom. They could look at that and say, what, you didn't buy your airline tickets? Well, I don't know I'm going to have a visa. Yeah, but you got to have they could be difficult about it and say, oh, well, you've got to have your airline tickets. Now, I don't think that's what it was because I don't remember us doing that. I don't know, though. I can't. My wife didn't remember. I asked her a couple questions this morning. She's like, I don't know. You forget. It's been years since she got her visa. So you forget. But the bottom line is they're making it harder to get in, apparently, from the looks of it. It looks to be getting a little more difficult. Now, if you use an agent, you may have a better chance. I don't know, but it's going to cost more. And you're still going to have to jump through the same hoops. You're going to have to provide the agent with everything that you have to provide to someone else, in the immigration or the embassy. So, difficult situation. And then you've got, add in the coronavirus. But what's so funny is that Thailand is basically stifled, for the most part. They have stifled this virus. They got 6 new cases. They're up to 59 now. but they have zero point 0.8 cases per million. The United States has 4.0 cases per million. And let's see here. Where did I know I put this somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. Well, obviously the Wuhan virus is now a pandemic. They've just stated that. I told everybody I'm going on lockdown. And, I don't want to go on lockdown. I want to go out. I like to go out and at least get a little fresh air, walk, we're fresh air. I say fresh air, but polluted fresh air. But, all these people that are, this is a once in a lifetime event. That's how it breaks down. But I was looking, where did it say about, what did I write down about Trump here? Trump said, yeah, he's suspending all travel from Europe for 30 days, starting Friday at midnight. There will be some exemptions for Americans. Restrictions will not apply to the United Kingdom. Yeah. So that's pretty big. I mean, imagine that. You live in Europe, you can't come to the United States. That's huge, man. That's huge. Like I said, and I haven't thought about it this until today, but this is a one-time. And, like I've said, I've been very hesitant to jump on the train where I'm like, oh, my God, the sky is falling. I don't think the sky is falling, but I do think that it's getting more difficult, and the noose is tightening, and, people better be prepared. We've been going out. My wife is constantly buying little stuff, and she asked me yesterday, "What do we need?" I said, "Well, we need like paper towels. We need some stuff like soap, toothpaste. We're running a little bit low now, so we need to get some stuff, and I can just order that. So that's great. I don't have to go to the grocery for that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's where we're at, and let's see what's going on here. Yeah, all cargo. I saw that also. Pretty wild, man. Let's see here. Let's see if I can bring something up right away. I like to look at Reuters more than CNN or Fox because, you've always got to sift through their BS. Not that there's no BS on Reuters, but coronavirus disrupts school sports. European travel to the U.S. has been suspended for 30 days to help curb the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. Now they're going to add pandemic to everything that has disrupted nearly all corners of daily life, from education to sports and entertainment. USI's direct deposit to workers, tax delays. Wow. Front page news, Tom Hanks. Trump suspends travel from 26 European countries. Crazy, man. This is crazy. Hopefully, there will be less bickering between the parties. Because, I admit I can't stand the Democrats. I can't stand any of them. None of them, make me go, wow, all right, man, maybe he'd be a good president or she'd be a good president. None of them do that to me. Not that the Republicans, and Trump make me do that either, but it's the worst of two evils. And I think that as long as these two parties are bickering back and forth, it's going to be very difficult for a lot of people to make their minds up. Although, somebody like me, I look at it and I just go, I can't stand these people. I can't even listen to them. I don't want to listen to them for 4 years. It's hard enough to listen to Trump sometimes. Sometimes he's funny. Sometimes he's an idiot. Sometimes I find him doing the right things, and I'm like, wow, that's great. I don't know if anybody saw, but Harvey Weinstein sentenced to 23 years. This guy's going to die in prison, man. And you talk about a long fall. He's fell from the top all the way down to the bottom, man. He's in the bottom of the barrel now. Wow. Well, where are you from, Victor? If you're alarmed by the facts, the problem is not with the facts. Wait a minute, what? If you're alarmed by the facts, the problem is not with the facts. Well, the facts are what they are, and I think the best thing to do is look at it without emotion. You know, both my mango and banana trees are laden with fruit, so I'm good for 2 months. Lovely, Larry. You can eat mango and banana for 2 months. We've got a couple 5-kilo bags of rice here. We've got probably 15 kilos of rice. We've got noodles. We've got, I bought a bunch of meat yesterday. Yeah, I'm on lockdown too, baby. I find it very difficult for me to lock down completely, though. Like, I feel the need to go out and walk around and get my legs moving, you know. So maybe we'll have to get the treadmill going again. I don't know. And, you know, my wife is a little bit worried about her job and how things are going to go. She may end up having to work from home. I don't know. You know, everything's going to be done virtually. This may end up, there are some things that I was thinking about in that this may end up being something that, while it has some huge negative ramifications, there may be some positives that come out of it. More and more people may just work from home. They may figure out ways to do things that they would never figure out unless they're put in this position. So I do think that when we come out of this, and I think, you know, like people that are buying stocks now when it's really low, eventually that stock's going to go back up. We will rebound. It may take 5 years. It may take a day or two. I don't know. You know, I'm not... oh, yeah, that's right, Belgium. Yeah, but you go out whenever you want. Now, I'm thinking to myself, what does a lockdown mean to me? If I go for a walk at 5 o'clock in the morning and there's nobody out on the streets, or 4:30 in the morning and there's nobody out on the streets, does that mean that I'm going to be more susceptible to getting the virus? I don't think so. If it means I go sit in a coffee shop and wear a mask and cover my hands up, put my hands in my pockets or something, and drink an espresso with my pinky finger and spray everything in front of me and wash my hands as soon as I touch anything. I don't know. Does that mean, you know? So to me, really locking down, hunkering down means staying inside. And I am thinking of my kids who, although they are probably much less susceptible than other people, I do think to myself, you know, if they don't need to go out, why are they going out? You know? And I'm almost tempted to tell Alex, hey, man, well, you know, you need to talk to your teachers and everybody else about, hey, what's going to happen. I think he just started up his term. I don't really remember. I think this is his second term in his first year, and he just started up a month ago. So he's got a couple of months left, and I'm wondering how that's going to affect him. You know, it would be nice if he could do things online. I don't know if that's going to be possible or they're going to do that. I don't know. This is the thing. There's a lot of uncertainty. We're living in an uncertain time right now, and like I said, this is a once-in-a-lifetime situation. And, you know, I mean, as much as I wanted to talk to Steve about everything that happened, it's inevitable that you're going to talk about the virus. I mean, you know, yesterday I found myself asking one of the Starbucks girls who was wearing a mask, I found myself asking her, are you worried? And she's like, yeah, I'm worried. And, you know, think about something, you know. You got some girl, she's 25, and maybe your parents had her late, and, you know, their father is 60 years old, 65, 70 years old. They're wondering, hey, you know, if my father or mother gets the virus, they might die because they're older, you know, and that's how Thais are thinking. That's how people are thinking. You know, I like to think that I'm strong enough, even though I got my issues, that I'm strong enough mentally and physically and, you know, internally, and my immune system is strong enough that I could fight something off. But, you know, I just watched this video earlier about this guy who said it was akin to getting hit by a truck. He said first it started out he had a cold, And it went away, and he thought, oh, okay, well, I'll get better. And then he got flu symptoms, and he thought, oh, well, I got the flu, and that went away, and he was happy. And then he said all of a sudden he got hit again, and he thought, man, I got to go to he couldn't breathe. He had a hard time breathing, and he's like, I got to go to the hospital. So he went to the hospital. And he got over it, but he was a younger guy. He couldn't have been more than about 35. Amazon has sent some of the warehouse hovers on. Well, John, I would tell you that if you're that worried, go home. Go home before you get locked out. Listen, Soy Dog Cowboy, I give him all props. I give him shit once in a while, every once in a while. But I give him props because, he was getting a hard time from his parents first of all, about, being in Thailand. It's so dangerous there, which is kind of like, yeah, it's so dangerous here. But, it's like his parents are older. And then once the virus hit, it was like, wow, now it's really dangerous. In their minds, it's extremely dangerous because you're right next to China. And all the Chinese are coming in, and you're right there. You're on ground zero in their heads. And, to his credit, the way that I think, and this is what I told him. Now, he made his decision on his own, as you should, John Baxter. But, what I said was, your parents are older. Do you want them continually worrying about you? Which, some parents, my parents are more like, yeah, we're concerned, but, right now you're safe. Stay put. They're not, what do you call it? Where you escalate things in your mind. I forget the phrase I'm thinking of. I can't think of it right now. They don't always believe the hype. They don't buy into the hype very quickly. They tend to sit back and wait a little bit and then try to see, you see, this is the thing, man. And, that was the thing. I was like, hey, they're older. Do you really want to put them through the stress of worrying about their kid? As old as you are, old fart that you are still their kid and you will always be their kid. Do you really want to put them through that torment? You want to torment them. Because that's what it is. You're like, you refuse to come home, and it's kind of like tormenting. My parents are not like that. They're like, listen, you got a family of 4. What are you going to do? You're going to stay with us? You're going to be sitting around here driving us crazy. We're going to drive you crazy. It's alarmist. That's the word I was looking for. My mind doesn't work very well these days. It's very slow. I had to write up a paragraph for some photos that I was submitting to a magazine yesterday. And man, it was so hard for me to sit and put together a coherent sentence. I was like, what's going on with me? My brain doesn't work the same way that it did a couple years ago. I'm not as sharp. I don't know why. But, maybe it's the onset of dementia. I don't know. Maybe I was tired. That's probably what it was. But, Thailand is going to be here. You can go anywhere you want, pretty much, still, if you play it the right way and if you are willing to spend the money. So it's about where are you safest, and, do you have a family? Do you need to be near them? I know my parents, they don't need to go out very often, and if they do go out, they're only going out, maybe once a week, and that might be going to the grocery store to get something, and, I think, maybe they go to the grocery to get a Corona or something like that. I don't know. I don't think they like Corona beer, though. Actually, that's something. I could use a beer. I wouldn't mind having a nice Guinness. I have to tell Steve to send me up a couple of cans. Sans the coronavirus. I'd like a nice big dark beer today for some reason. So, take care of yourselves. I got 2 little bottles right here. All of us have our little hand cleaner, hand sanitizer stuff. And, don't forget about soap and water. If you have the means and you're nearby a sink, don't forget that you can always just wash your hands, Wash your hands and wash often. Buy extra. I wish I could have ammo here. That's one thing I don't like about Thailand is that, if something really got crazy here, and I mean, this is similar to like a zombie apocalypse, except not quite as bad. If it got so bad that, I had to worry about people breaking in to get supplies, to see if we had any supplies for them or something like that, it's like, what do I got? A couple of baseball bats, a couple of big knives, but I don't have, some heavy duty, I don't have a shotgun, I don't have a machine gun, I don't have any of that kind of stuff, so, what am I going to do? Which is why I'm all for, the Second Amendment. Thailand needs to adapt that. I did hear about the vitamin D. I've seen that a couple of times. I don't know, man. Because then you wonder about the vitamin D, where you're getting it from. Just how much vitamin D is really in the tablet. Is it a good quality vitamin company? Yeah, Focus Factor. I don't know. I've never heard of Focus Factor. I don't know. I used to believe there was a company that I used to. Some of our guys used to get some of their stuff, and it was like Manny Pacquiao's team recommended it. Their guy, I guess Alex Ariza, he was their strength and conditioning coach. Listen, man, I don't know. Yeah, soap and water is just as good. It works very, very well. Wash your hands often. Don't be sneeze. I sneeze a lot. I do sneeze a lot, but generally I either sneeze and I'm outside and away from everybody, like far away. I'm nowhere near anybody. Or I sneeze into a handkerchief or a paper towel or something like that. And I wash my hands afterwards. And especially now, I use hand sanitizer. And I mean, when you think about it, like, listen, you go up, I was thinking, you walk into a place. For instance, I go outside right now, and I decide to jump on a song towel. Okay? I jump on a song towel, and I grab the poles on the song towel. Now, I've just contaminated that song towel with whatever germs I have. Somebody else comes on, they put their hand on there, boom, they've got it. They've got exactly what, they put their hand in the same spot. Now their hands got my germs on it. They touch their face, they got whatever I got. Okay, now I go on the song towel, I grab the pole, I get up, I sit down, I put my hands wherever I put them. I touch the surface, I touch my face. Now I got what other people got. I go into, say, Happyland Center. I walk into the coffee shop. I walk up. I put my hands on the counter. I reach in with one hand, take out my money, hand them the money. They give me change. Now, I'm grabbing the change that they just had in their hands. If we are to believe that this virus is that infectious, then basically I'm getting whatever's on the germs that they may have. If they have the virus, I'm getting that virus from the money, from them handing it back, and then maybe I touch my face, which a lot of times we don't even know we're touching our face. And then I go sit down, and I put my hands on the counter because that's what you do. You sit down, you put your hands on the chair to prop yourself up on the chair or whatever, sit yourself down on the chair. You get in the chair, you sit down, you put your hands on the counter, you drink. Now you touch the glass. So you're touching things all the time. This is so damn infectious. I mean, I'd like to know minute by minute how much this is. I don't know if I can figure that out or not, if they show me. I don't think it's that any site is updated that quickly. I'm looking at the Johns Hopkins, and I'm also looking at the Worldometers, and they update like twice a day or something like that. 4,633 deaths, 126,300 cases corona cases. And for those people who keep saying that it's the flu, and I understand it is the flu, but like I said earlier, it's the flu on steroids. And it's on steroids because it's like 10 to 30 times more infectious than the flu, which means, you know, if somebody else has got it, if you were going to get the flu from them, then you may get the Wuhan from them much easier. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, I don't know if anybody saw this, and this is just crazy. And, you know, this is probably some kind of a publicity stunt. Naomi Campbell wears a hazmat suit to airport amid coronavirus outbreak. Surely you jest. No, I don't jest. I don't jest. She's a longtime advocate of staying germ-free while traveling. She even posted a video of her intense pre-flight ritual, which involves wiping down everything close to her airplane seat with Dettol antibacterial wipes last year. So it's perhaps no surprise the 49-year-old has opted to step things up considerably amid the novel coronavirus.
The latest
Hey,
coronavirus story.
this is not supposed to be playing. Sorry. Not supposed to play. You see, it automatically plays. She's standing there with the frickin' coronavirus, with a hazmat suit on. She's got a mask on. She's got gloves on. Listen, I think the chick is crazy. I think she's a nut. I always have thought she was a nutcase. This is what I do every plane I get on. I do not care what people think of me. It's my health, and it makes me feel better. Well, more props to her for that. Good for her. How was the form, everyone? I heard the U.S. is 10 to 15 days behind. That's okay. Even say AR-14s will be taken away from us. Like I said, Biden was lucky that guy didn't knock him out, because I don't think Biden is all that much of a badass. He talks a lot of smack when he's got his security guards around. But getting back to Naomi Campbell. Uh-oh. Nicholas, is that you? I hope you're not in your underwear. I'm streaming. The last thing that my subscribers want to see is you strolling around in your undies. You're sitting inside a flying incubator, wiping down stuff won't do. Well, I mean, I think she's like I said, she's a nutcase, man. I think she's a nutcase. Nikki, this supermodel wearing a hazmat suit in the airport to get on the plane. Can you believe it?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no? Check her out. Here she is. Oh, she's got multiple pictures? Oh my God, she's got little pink gloves on.
Good for her.
Good for her. I think she's a nut, though. I think she's a whack job. Now, she's wearing a hazmat, outfit. I mean, hey, who knows? Maybe this is how we're going to have to live our lives from now on. We're all going to be in hazmat suits. What do you think?
Yeah, if the virus gets worse.
Well, it's getting bad, man. You are not going outside. The only thing you're going to go outside for is, your cocoa or whatever, your chocolate. And I have a hard time allowing you to do that now. You and your sankaya. I mean, you're going to have to tell Alex. You're going to have to call Alex and tell him, hey, listen, buddy. You got deported? Dude, why did you get deported? How did you get deported? How on earth did you get deported? You don't have the coronavirus, do you? I mean, I wouldn't think you do, but that's crazy that they deported you, because I wouldn't think that, honestly, looking at you and knowing what I know about you, I wouldn't think you would be deported. By the way, if you enter an airport in Europe these days in a hazmat suit, police will throw you to the ground, shoot you. Watch out for missing manholes on the sidewalk. I wonder what's going to happen to foreigners living on visa. I don't know. I hadn't even thought about that, Tim. Got my visa, but they decided that 2 tourist visas per year is one. Really? 2? That's all you had? So you got the visa, you got an extension, and then you went and got another visa? And they said no? That's pretty crazy, man. That's pretty freaking crazy. I think there's a lot of, I have no idea why they would not allow you the second tourist visa, because at the very least, they can let you have, what the hell? They can let you have the second visa. I would think that wouldn't be a problem. But then, hang on one second here. Let me take a look at this. What are you fucking kidding me? Too bad now. Crazy thing about detention centers, they make you pay for it. Really? Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. Always ask for 5 days to get all stuff you need. Post a bond if you have to. Wow. That's crazy, man. Really. I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. You know? I don't even know what to say, you know? Well, it doesn't surprise me that they would make you pay in a place that was less than comfortable. What surprises me is that you only have one tourist visa and that they wouldn't let you have a second. That's definitely very surprising. Yeah, 2,000 baht. Hey, Nicholas, what are you doing today? Nick, what are you doing? Come over here for a second. Had to pay 6,000 full, 2,000 for detention and 4,000 for flight back to Laos. You should be lucky that they didn't make you. Hang on a second. Sit down. That they didn't make you go all the way back to Scotland. You know, I don't know why they would do that, though. That's pretty crazy, man. But now you know, and this is the thing. And these countries, man. I mean, as I hate to say this, and you know, I hate to say this, but I think that all this diversification and diversity and cultural diversity, however you want to put it. People talk about it, and at least in the United States, the left is constantly whining and crying about it. The bottom line is that some places they don't want you in their country. I don't necessarily mean that about Thailand, and I don't mean that that's the case in this situation. I don't know what the whole background is, and I find it troubling that they would deport him. Yeah, I mean, he's not from Nigeria. You know, He's not pretending that he's a part of the Christian church here, some Christian church here in Thailand, you know. So I don't really get it, but Nikki, what do you think? What do you think about the virus, Nikki? Talk to me, baby.
I think it sucks.
You think it sucks?
Yeah.
You want to expound on that? You want to tell me a little bit more? I mean, you think it sucks how?
Well, it kills people.
Right.
And
How does it suck for you, though? Are you worried?
A little bit.
What are you worried about?
Well, I'm worried I'm gonna
Get sick?
get sick from yeah.
But you know that you and Alex are probably the least likely people to suffer anything from. You probably, if you get it at all, you might just feel a little bit like you got a little bit of a cold, and that's it. That's probably what'll happen to you. Somebody like me, it'll knock me flat on my ass. If not, it'll kill me. Had to pay for visa again in Laos, and to get another visa in Thailand. So on top of the 6,000, and then also hotels and extra flights to get back next week. Pain in the ass. They said I don't have enough money. I give bank statement to Visa Embassy yesterday showing I have over 10,000 euro in savings. You know, again, and it's just like Steve, his wife not getting into the United States, even though they showed they had sufficient funds. They showed that they'd both been back in the United States. You know, he had been with her in the United States, and that she had come back, and that they have a daughter together. And yet, no explanation, no nothing. Just sorry, you're not going to get in. And here, Niall is showing, he gave his bank statement, shows he's got enough money, and they're saying no. And what's funny is that a tourist visa in the United States, for a United States citizen, I don't know how it is for Scottish citizen, if you want to get a tourist visa to Thailand for 6 months, a multiple entry tourist visa, it used to be you had to pay, you had to show $7,000 US in the bank. Now, I don't know how much is 10,000 euro. Let's see here. 11,000. So that's more than enough. So yeah, I don't get it. But you're able to come back in next week, or what's the deal? Time to stay in the U.S. for... Well, I got to say something that I've been thinking about for a long time because, anything can happen. And when you are not a citizen of the place you are living or visiting, you don't have the same rights that you do back home. Sometimes you have more rights, sometimes you have less rights. But here in Thailand, guess what? You will never, ever be Thai. And I got to say that I am, if longevity tells you anything, I am far more Thai than anybody in this chat, than anybody probably that's watching. And guess what? It doesn't mean a damn thing. Doesn't mean a damn thing. Means absolutely nothing. And I got 2 kids here. Legitimate American, Thai American citizens. And, they could do the same thing to me, really, Well, good luck, Niall. I hope it works out for you. Let me know. Pretty wild. Wild. People are getting denied all over the place. Denied! Who used to say that? Oh, that chick. She's long gone now. What's her name? She used to say, denied! Susie Orman. I never really liked her all that much. But I always remember hearing in the background on my TV, denied! Yeah, good luck, man. I can't stand dealing with the bureaucrats. Bureaucrats. You know what a bureaucrat is? It's a government official. Somebody you got to deal with who's a pain in the ass most of the time. What are you going to have for breakfast? Peanut butter? Peanut butter sandwich?
Yeah.
Really? I was joking. You go run around the mall. Paitio. Go see if anybody will sneeze on you.
Oh. Punch him in the face.
You punch him in the face? Come over here and get on camera. Are you off camera right now? Yeah, you're off camera, man. Come over here. Come over here, big boy. You're almost 18 years of age. Well, you're 17 and a half, right?
Mm-hmm.
You sleepy?
I don't know.
11:37 in the morning and you're still sleepy. What's going on with you, kid? I think you've been lounging around, living the good life a little bit too much. Huh? You gonna cook me dinner tonight? Nikki's learning to cook slowly but surely. Last night he cooked us fried rice. How was that fried rice?
Good.
It was a little salty. Next time, don't put so much seasoning in. That was me, actually. Anyway, gentlemen, ladies, gentlemen, just to mention that shots were getting in Malaga. There's a lot of rings that can kill you besides the virus. The ports are empty. There's a lot of places where supplies are low. I mean, it pays to be prepared. That's why I said, get yourself a couple bags of rice or whatever. Do what you got to do. Get yourself some dried noodles, canned foods. Toilet paper ain't going to save you, but there in the U.S., when you don't have the bum gun, a lot of you don't have the bum gun. You got to have it. Although you could always use soap and water. It's a lot cleaner than scraping paper along your ass crack. Right, Nikki? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, what else should you stock up on? Well, we said soap, toothpaste, and all this stuff. I don't think there's going to be a hassle with it. I don't think there's going to be any hassle for us getting toothpaste. I think there's plenty of toothpaste out there. I think there's not enough alcohol. Now, I will say that I went out yesterday and I went looking for 90% plus alcohol. Couldn't find any. Everybody's like, oh, we have alcohol gel. And I'm like, no, I don't want alcohol gel. I want alcohol. I want to make my own hand sanitizer. Yeah, well, we can all talk about that, Tim, but the bottom line is that most people don't have that. They don't have that available to them. Okay? I mean, a very, very small percentage of people can do that. Now, what I will say is, if we could get down to the South, if we needed to, we know that the South, it rains more in the South. We would have more water there. There are less people there. And we have fruit on our property. However, grocery stores are an hour and a half away. So, we know that we have that. That's one option for us. Yeah. I mean, listen, Tim, you live in Bangkok, right? Or where? I don't remember where you live, to be honest. I can't remember where everybody's living here. Most people don't have that option. What about all the people that are living in condos or living in, they're living in housing tracts, they're living in apartments? I mean, they don't have the ability to grow their own mango tree. Okay. I think we're spinning around in circles. Salt is also good to cure meat. That doesn't mean we need a ton of it. I think probably a better disinfectant is alcohol or just plain old disinfectant, like, Mr. Clean or one of those kind of things. We got the Mr. Muscle here. We got a bunch of bottles of Mr. Muscle. So, hopefully everything will stay somewhat stable. It won't get too carried away. It won't get too crazy, because it's crazy enough already. I can tell you, Nicholas, I got to tell you this. I've told everybody already here. This is probably a once in, well, I'm not even going to say probably. This is a once in a lifetime situation. This has never happened in my life to this extent.
What?
Countries locking down, not allowing travel into their country, out of their country, flights being canceled all over the world, events being canceled. The St. Patrick's Parade in like 7 or 8 countries have been, or cities and countries have been canceled. NBA season canceled.
No more basketball.
I don't believe so. Also, plenty of rats to catch. 2-liter bottles can be stacked together to make a small Oh, come on, Tim, listen. You are... Yeah, right. So what about the people that have no sun? They're living in a place that's cloudy all the time, and they have a tiny little balcony. I mean, listen, Tim, you're coming up with these ideas, and most of them are, I think, you have the best intention. And for some people, yes, they're very possible. We could grow some things if we really wanted. The other thing is that, what about the people who haven't been growing? Now they're going to have to start growing right now. And it may take a couple of months for everything to mature. So what are you going to do then? No impact. Not an option. That's the way that I look at that. You better start thinking a little bit differently. Listen, we have a water tank outside. However, I know that water is probably not all that clean. But we can use that water. We could, if we really wanted, we could use that for toilet water to flush to John. We can filter that water and then put it in as long as we have electricity or whatever, or we have a fire, we can heat it to kill the bacteria. There are things that we can do. So we're not so worried about that. We're more worried about the supply chain and not necessarily for us either. I think we're okay for food for about 2 months, a month, 2 months. I don't know. It depends on, if it got to the point where it was that bad, I'd be like, all right, listen, you get 2 bowls of noodles a day or something, because we're gonna have to ride this baby out. You could take a piss outside. You don't have to take a piss in the toilet and use the water to flush the toilet. There's all kinds of things you can do. But you're talking to the wrong guy if you want to tell me that, everybody in New York City who has a tiny little flat needs to be growing food and, okay, well, let's start doing that. It's not going to be, there's no impact from that at this point. If they've got a big roof, yeah, that's what I've been saying. They've allowed it to kind of burn itself out. People start becoming immune. They get over these things, and that's why the isolation is so important. It's important that people isolate themselves, and it's kind of like, that's why I'm saying it's the zombie flu. Go out. Walk around, go to a big concert or a big sporting event where there's 35,000 people coughing, sneezing, farting, doing all kinds of things around you, and you're breathing it all in. You're taking it all in. You're better off just to stay home. Minimize contact, social distancing. That's the new phrase, that's the new catchphrase. Social distancing. Which I kind of like that because you know what? I don't hate people. I just prefer to be alone. Which brings me and is a nice segue into me saying goodbye. Because I think this stream has run its course. Unless somebody else has a lot of other interesting stuff to talk about. I'm going to put the link up. If you find this stream valuable or entertaining and you enjoy it, purchase a t-shirt or a mug. Get one of my books. Or just send me some few bucks through PayPal, or sign up to become a Patreon patron, whatever. But I'm not here because it's UNICEF. That's the truth. I mean, I'll just be honest. And I don't care if you like it or not. I'm here, because it makes me a little bit of extra dough. That's what I'm here for. So, you can always look in the description. You can check things out. You can subscribe, click the bell. That way you know when I'm going to be. I mean, I've been pretty regular lately. I'm at home, so I'm regular. I'm not going out walking around. It's not going to happen. I'm certainly not going to go walking around now in the extreme heat. How hot is it right now? Jono, I know you're listening. It's 93 degrees. Feels like 106. You son of a sailor. 55% humidity. I didn't swear. You see that, Mom? Because you're probably, I don't know. She may not be listening now. It's too late. Why not? There are other people there from other countries that are assisting and seeing what's happening. Winds south 10 miles an hour. So, it's still windy. It's still hot, sweet, and sticky. But yeah, please, contribute in one way or the other. You can always, like I said, you don't want to buy something from me. You can always get something. Just go down where it says, check out my Amazon shop. And you can get something either through the shop or you can just browse Amazon. And that will allow me to make a few bucks, a few cents, depending on what you buy. Just because you're purchasing, if you want to buy all your toilet paper from Amazon or you want to get all that kind of stuff, then, hey, good for you. Get it. I make a few cents. Doesn't cost you anything. And life is grand. Beyond Trinity, I've been to the grocery several times this week. I have not seen Miss Cake. I don't know where she's at. She may be hiding out from the Wuhan. But I've been wanting to eat there, and the last time I ate there, I got to say, I had a rather average pork chop. It wasn't bad. It was good, but it wasn't as good as Cake's pork chop. So I don't really want to go there. I have to think if there's anything that I need, I'm going to have to go today because today is the day that I'm going on lockdown. So I have to think, is there anything that I can't get delivered that I need today? And I don't know. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but that's neither here nor there. Where have you been all my life, Beyond Trinity? You missed my guest. I had a guest. You said you emailed, what? Will said you email regarding cake. Oh. Will said you email regarding cake shortly. Oh, we'll send. Is there COVID? Yeah, okay. Let's quarantine the whole area, man. Let's just do that. Okay, let's close it all down, guys. We're gonna shut it down. Immigration had one case of the virus, and so nobody can go into immigration. We're suspending all immigration. Yeah, right. That's going to happen. Come on. I don't think it will. I don't think it will. I don't think if one person got it in the housing tract that they're going to shut down the housing tract. They may ask people to get tested or whatever, or if they have any symptoms or blah, 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 they may do that. I don't know. How do I know? You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, let me see if I can do this here. Another, I wanted to go offline, but now the thing is that if I'm at home, and I'm not going to go anywhere, and I'm going to lock down, probably the best thing to do is not go offline for 3 days. And I thought maybe today would be the day, blah, 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 but now I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, hang on a second. I'm doing 2 things at once. I'm reading and I'm... Oh, man. Anyway. One person got infected in the airport. They're shutting down the airport. Lovely. Well, I mean, I guess, when it comes down to it, maybe it's the best thing to do. But in a housing tract, I think that's a little different. Because people are not necessarily interacting with each other in our housing tract. Condo building, that may be a little different. Apartment complex, that may be a little different. Maybe different than... Oops. That may be different than, to me, that's different than a housing tract, because what about if I haven't gone out in the last 2-3 days? I haven't really interacted with anybody. I rarely interact with people here. In fact, most of the time, I tell my kids, hey, go get me some soup over here, or go get some salt, or go get some pepper, or whatever it is. Get some garlic. Go down the way, get us some eggs. That's what we need is eggs. Something like that. So I don't know about a housing tract. I don't think so. An apartment complex, condo, that's a little bit different. Banned countries, so micro. I don't know, man. I'm not a virologist. What do I know? Seriously. To me, you stay home. You don't go out if you don't have to go anywhere, and it will help. You want to do something on a macro level, everybody stay home. Stay home if you don't have to go anywhere. Don't go paitio. I'm going to go paitio. Yeah, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go partying. I'm going to go have a good time. But on a smaller level, I mean, when it comes to a housing tract, I mean, listen, I don't deal with, I can't think the last time it's been days since I handed anybody anything or anything like that. So, I don't think a housing tract gives reason to shut anything down. And I don't know about an airport. I don't think you should shut down an airport because one person had the virus. I don't think that that's going to work either. I think that's a bit extreme. But then I'm not a virologist for the last time. So anyway, that's all I got. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, click the bell, leave a comment. The spiel. That's what, I hate the spiel. But I got to do it. Leave a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Share. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so what's your point, Happiest Days? What is your point? I mean, really, you're going on about this, but what's your point? What is the point? Get to the juice. The juice right now ain't worth the squeeze. Yeah, no, I know. I mean, the thing is that you got a hell of a lot of people in Europe going around, and Trump's doing the right thing, in my opinion. Shut down the borders, man. He ought to shut down the borders against all the illegal immigrants too. That's the way I think. Yeah, there's no juice, so then I understand that. It's a listen. Like I keep saying, how many times I gotta say it? This is a once in a lifetime thing. This is not going to happen. It's very unlikely that something like this will happen again in your lifetime. So enjoy it while you can. Revel in it. Freak out about it. Do whatever you want to do. Run home. Come home because you got good reasons. Stay in Thailand. Listen, believe me, I'm not worried about what you guys do because I can't affect what you do. Don't expect me to affect your decision making. If I could affect your decision making, then I would do so, for my own benefit. I try to help a little bit. I try to put the information. I'm simply an aggregator. I'm an aggregator of information. I give my opinions, and that's about all I'm good for. Not to downplay myself, but that's the truth. I try to be honest. It is what it is. Anyway, we're at 3 hours, man. Long stream. I've been wanting to get down to an hour. I thought about doing an hour. I'm starting to hear that after you're sick for a little over a week, you're starting to recover, that you're not as contagious as in the beginning. I heard that from China. Yeah, I've heard that also. I heard that from a British guy who said that in the very beginning, you're extremely virulent and contagious, and then you start to get better, and then you're not as contagious. I don't want to get it just because I don't want it. It's the gift that I don't want. Later, Longhorns. Later, everybody. Later, Beyond Trinity. I'll talk to you guys when I talk to you. And appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm glad that everything worked fairly well with the Skype, and hopefully I can do that in the future. But until next time, let me see if I can get this little thing working here. Let me see. Where's the music at? Is it here? Yeah. This is our closeout music. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Choke D. Jerk and my.